Hello everyone, I hope you've all been well since my last post. This video will have slightly less animation since that's where the bulk of my time goes in these videos. My last video of the Fursuit making series covered the first step to making your character come to life, which is planning. Quick recap, you gotta know the color, fur length, body type, and type of fursuit you're making. Along with this, you'll need a character that you're gonna turn into a fursuit, preferably with a ref sheet to make your job a little easier. A ref sheet is usually 3 drawings of your character from the front, side, and back. I personally like to have an overhead view as well, but that's just my personal preference. This is so that you know what your character looks like in a 3D space. This will help out a ton in sculpting and making your fursuit. Materials you need will differ slightly depending on if you're making a full body suit or just the head and hands, which is what I'll be doing. Most fursuits are made of foam, fur, and hot glue, but in recent years 3D printed bases have become much more popular since it takes a lot of work out of making a fursuit. Despite this, you'd likely still need the foam so that your head isn't making direct contact with the hard and potentially sharp plastic surface. There's many different places to get your materials. You can get the foam from in-person stores like Walmart, Michaels, and Joann's. A lot of people prefer to get theirs online, but I personally like being able to see and feel the materials I'm using. While we're on the topic of foam, it's important to mention there's 3 main types of foam. 1. Soft foam. This is often seen in thick sheets, often 1, 2, and even 3 inches. This you want to use for any large sections of your fursuit that don't need much structure, so I'll be using it for most of, if not all of my fursuit. 2. Green foam. This is seen in similar thicknesses to soft foam but is more firm, significantly more structure than soft foam but still squishy. I've personally seen green foam usually used in the face and ears on fursuits. Keep in mind it's a little more pricey, very worth it though if you prefer less flimsy foam. 3. Eva foam. I've personally never used this before, so I can't speak from experience too much. This type of foam comes in much thinner thicknesses than the other 2 types of foam due to its increased structure. I've seen full heads made before using mostly this foam. Keep in mind a heat gun may be needed to bend this foam how you need it to go. I've also seen contact cement used instead of hot glue since it's a lot stronger. I'd also like to mention here the importance of good ventilation wherever you're working. Either a large room or a slightly opened window should work. Keep in mind, a fan will send bits of fur and small chunks of foam flying everywhere. A vacuum, or my personal preference, a handheld vacuum, should be on standby for cleaning any small bits of fur or foam on the ground. I couldn't find my handheld vacuum. I'm using a bag from Hobby Lobby. This isn't even part of the script. I'm actually just using a bag from Hobby Lobby. Now let's discuss the fur. Personally, I believe the skill is more important than how expensive your materials are. In other words, I don't feel like spending $60 on a roll of fur I'll only use once. I would advise against buying fur from Joann's since I've had bad experiences with their fur before. I would recommend sites like FursuitSupplies.com as a one-stop shop for all your fursuit needs. Howl Fabrics is also pretty good from what I've heard, but they're more expensive since they have higher quality stuff. I'm not saying FursuitSupplies.com is bad, just a little lower quality than what Howl has to offer. A hot glue gun you can get from just about anywhere you want. The one I have is from the 99-cent store and it served me well. Contact cement can be bought from many stores like Walmart, Target, and hardware stores. Before I forget, I always want to mention that other large expense of making fursuit is a sewing machine. You could in theory make a full fursuit with only hand sewing, but a machine will make your life a lot easier. I've seen the hand paws and head be made completely by hand with no sewing machine, but for larger pieces like the bodysuit and tail, I would suggest getting a sewing machine. From what I can see, basic soft foam, also known as upholstery foam, will run you back about $11 for a 15-inch by 18-inch by 2-inch thick piece. Not too bad price-wise. Green firmer foam is about $26 for 22 inches by 22 inches by 3 inches. Green foam is just a nickname I gave it since that's generally what color I see it, but it can also be light blue. Eva foam comes in sheets. One that I saw was $12 for 16 inches by 59 inches by 5 millimeters. Very thin but good structure. This foam is common for cosplays, so feel free to use it for any other character accessories too. Let's talk about fur price now. Most fur will run you back about $30 per yard. Keep in mind you can usually buy what's known as a swatch. A swatch is a small square of the fabric so you can physically see the length and physically feel it without having to commit to a whole yard or half yard. They often cost around $1. Some types of fur will cost more than others. Longer fur is usually slightly more expensive than shorter fur. Many websites allow you to buy a half yard, which is useful if you don't have a big budget. Before I forget, let's discuss the price of hot glue guns and the hot glue sticks. For a full-size glue gun, it'll run you back about $12 to $15 depending on the quality of it. For a mini glue gun, it'll be about $10 or less. Keep in mind the hot glue sticks for normal size glue guns and smaller glue guns are different. Personally, I prefer smaller glue guns because I feel as though there's more control with it. I was able to buy 50 of the hot glue sticks for about $5 from Hobby Lobby. I did buy 2 packs because I suggest you do this too. always get extra, it can't hurt. For a full-size glue gun, the sticks will cost a bit more. When it comes to the foam as well, I suggest 2-inch thick, because 2-inch thick I think has a good balance between not being too thick to work with and being thick enough that you don't need a lot of it to keep building it up. You'll find very quickly that for the muzzle and cheeks or any other parts that need to build up a lot of foam, you'll need a lot of it depending on how thick the foam is. If you have thinner foam, you'll need more of it, but if you have thicker foam, you'll need less. I would suggest getting extra supplies just in case you mess stuff up. It's part of the creative process, and don't get deterred. I think next video, I'll teach you how to make a fursuit head base, which is pretty much an upside down bucket with holes cut for the mouth and eyes. Next video will take a little bit longer than usual to come out because I have to go buy the materials along with put them together and put it into a video that's easy to understand. If you think there's anything I missed or if you have any questions, feel free to comment them and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. That'll be it for today. I hope to see you all in the next part in a couple of days.